Okay, welcome back to session 45, the last recap of these vacation videos. So, in session 44, they had finished the session with the crown from Urian Loapak, this old king of the Symbaroum times, inside a chest. They are with Master Gonkai from the Order Magica. They are with Master Vernum, and they're walking out of the city in the snowstorm to meet with the elves. They went into the forest, waited for the elves. No sign of the elves. Went to the woodcutters' camp and found dragools eating the woodcutters. So these dragools that are eating the woodcutters are from the Blooming Vale. They don't know yet, but they some of them are like a bit more mummified than the others, and and they noticed the slave runes in the foreheads of these dragools. So some of them had the slave rune. So they sort of pieced together that these are escapees from the Blooming Vale. Now that Naitikel Anbariagos is dead, the dragools have lost their purpose and are, ambling in the forest. So the fight starts. Vild is blocking the doorway. He hits them, the dragools. Mikaia throws a very efficient brimstone cascade inside. After a while of this fight, some other dragools come from around the house because some of them had been eating other woodcutters behind the house, and the horse that pulls the sleigh of the woodcutters. So these other dragools come in the fray. The fight is pretty brutal, but the PCs are how do you say? They're pretty experienced now, and they can take care of these dragools fairly easily. Once all the dragools are dead, that took a long while in the session because the session was about fighting. So that took quite a while to get through those dragools. But after things are starting to calm down, Bo goes around the house and sees the remnants of the horse, and there's 4 more dragools on the horse eating their fill. And the snow is still blowing. There's this big blizzard going around, and it's getting thicker and thicker. And at the same time, Mirizin the barbarian is also scouting on the other side of the house, and he sees in the distance an elf on an elk. It's as if the snow of the blizzard parts ways to let him see this figure. And he doesn't react to it. He doesn't go towards it. He just goes back to the rest of the group to tell them what he saw. The fact that I decided to choose Mirizin is because Mirizin has a bane or a burden of a sign, a birthmark that is perceived as being something maybe corrupt. Actually, this birthmark is the birthmark that some barbarians of Clan Inoai have, that shows that they are the chosen of Oroke, the spider goddess. So it's like the kiss of Oroke that made that mark on him. And so he is spider kissed, if you want. And this element of his background I already put in play at some point a long time ago when they were in Karnak. After the episode on the river, they went to a bar. There was dark fairies there in a cage, and when they saw him, they were yelling Xanata, Xanata, and they know, these dark fairies, that Xanata is back in the world. Xanata has left the spirit world and is back in the world of the living. Why do the fairies know? Because the fairies have witch sight, and the fairies see these creatures moving in the spirit world, and so they knew about Xanata. And they know about the spider's kiss on the neck, the blotch, the sign. So there's like a mystery going around Mirizin about this relation to Xanata and Oroke. And the elves, when they met the group in the Titans in the very first adventure, they noticed this mark. They know that this human is kissed by the gods, which isn't a god per se, but by the spirits of the wild. So he has a special status in their eyes, and also he's a barbarian, so he's more likely to understand the ways of the elves. So that's why they want him to bring the crown. They don't want to deal with the Embrians. So he saw these elves, and he didn't go to them. Meanwhile, once they get together in the camp, Mérizine tells them about this vision. They decide to go towards the elves to try to meet them. So Mérizine, Wild, and Beau, the ogre, the goblin, and the barbarian, decide to go first, because they believe that the elves might come to them more easily. They move south in the snow. They try to meet the elves. They have the box with the crown inside, and they want to give them to the elves. The elves finally show themselves in the form of a huge beeman, dark hair, big bear with white streaks that gives it a very unnatural feeling. This is the elf Saranli in bear form. So Saranli accepts their offer and leads them into the forest a bit further off to receive the crown. Once they are there, Mérizine opens the box, takes the crown, and wants to give it to Saranli. And of course, the crown once again takes possession of him, and he feels the presence of Urian Loapak behind him, egging him onwards. Urian Loapak, I don't know if I'm metagaming there, but I think that since this crown can go inside people's minds, the crown has probed Saranli. The crown knows that the elves want to bring back the crown to the tomb, which is okay for Urian. That's what he wants. So he eggs Mérizine onward to go with this elf, because the elf will help him bring the crown back. Of course, Urian Loapak would be very happy to keep this young, strong body of a barbarian as his own. So we don't know when he will relinquish control. So Wild and the goblin Beau, who stayed back a bit because they didn't want to scare the elf off, the beeman off, they're just watching from afar this weird transaction, and they see Mérizine with the crown in his hand slowly walk up to the beeman, climb on its back, and then the both of them start to amble off into the forest with the snow that's starting to swirl again. The beeman is protected by Godrai, the master elf who is controlling the weather, is sort of making the weather softer around his fellow elf, and lets the blizzard go full force all around it. So there's like a bubble of calmer winds around the beeman. As the beeman leaves with Mérizine, Wild and Beau wonder what to do. They decide to pursue. So they're following the trail in the snow of this big bear. It's not too hard, but they're facing the full force of the winds and of the blizzard, and they're struggling to keep up with the speed of the bear. And that is where we ended session 45. So there wasn't that much in terms of intrigue, but because there was this big battle beforehand. But there is a very strong cliffhanger that I really like, because I don't know what will happen next. And I think I have to do a prep video before the game for you guys, because I wrote a few things in my notebook to prep for this next session, for session 46. I have a few ideas on what are the possibilities, how to make it interesting for the players. So I think I'll do a video, one last video before the game, to share to you my prep for that session. So that's session 45. Once again, thank you for being there. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe, comment. I really like hearing about you, what you like, what you don't like, what your own campaigns look like. What are the things that you steal from me? I want you to find some use out of these videos. So if some things are useful to you, please point them out. That's helps me make better videos too. And that's it for today. So have a great one. Happy gaming, and see you next time. Bye bye.